Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is the last day for this thing. It is, it was an old straw hat and it has seen better days. It is all crumbled. There's tons of holes in this thing and it has been eating my forehead alive. So I figured that this would be a great day to do one last harvest in the garden. Let's see what we can find. Oh gosh, that looks worse than I thought it was. I didn't think it was that bad. Anyways, I might not be, ow. Yep, not wearing it, but I'll put it on the table and let's just call it a harvest day. I'm still constantly learning, and I put an episode about how I haven't had any zucchinis or anything growing. So of course, in September, out of all the months in the summer that they had to grow, my summer squash has decided to finally start growing. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here in the same area that I picked up the zucchini, I've got this beautiful, beautiful scalloped patapan. And I just noticed this right now. Look at that beautiful zucchini. So I'm gonna let him grow. And that's all I see so far. They've got a little bit of powdery mildew starting. It is what it is, it's September, but the rest of the garden looks pretty good. Now, oh my God, like everything, nothing makes sense in here. So at least we're consistent. And my beans have finally decided to sprout, and that's as of August. My cucumbers that I planted, like all of this was planted at the beginning of the year. So my cucumbers, my pickling cucumbers, are finally starting to now come into production in September. My kale has never looked better. Basically, everything is doing amazing. So it is what it is. Like, you know, I'm just having fun with it. I'm gonna collect this guy and we'll continue on. So that little baby scallop just totally made my day. And I'm here in this never-ending row of sunflowers, and the birds are like, they're just all over these. It's so nice and so cool to see it. This year, I think it's the coolest thing ever. I'm like, oh, how awesome is this that all these birds are eating the seeds, and I don't know, I'm able to feed them. Over here at the side, now mind you, I just started plopping seeds down every nook and cranny that I could. So I've got this guy starting. I have absolutely not a clue as to what it is. No idea. I don't know if it's an 8-ball, although like it's a pretty long vine. I have no idea what it is. So I'm gonna look through my seed packets and see if I can find out what it is. But over here, see, like these are starting to finally come, and I've got this little guy. That one could be a Jack B. Little. I don't know. But again, look at all these sunflowers. And it's so cool because this is what I see out of the back of the house. What I'm worried about is I'm worried about stuff not coming and ripening completely. So what I've been doing is I've been chopping off the very ends of the squash vines. And I didn't do this section because I feel like this section is a lot more delayed than the one over by where the, like over there where the shed is. I've done all of those and I'm finding that it's ripening up so much faster now that I've done that. I see a honey, so that's either a honey nut or it's a regular butternut squash. The honey nut's supposed to be way smaller than a butternut squash gets to, and it's supposed to be way sweeter. So we'll see if that matures. Have I clipped it? Yeah, I did clip it. So we'll see if that one fruit, hopefully, fingers crossed, it's been pollinated because it's already gotten that big. Hopefully we'll be able to get some fruit off of it. Fingers crossed. Oh Christ, these days I've got everything crossed. Eyeballs, legs, arms, fingers, everything. To hopefully get anything to go. Yeah, here's another one of those. So I don't know if they're gonna be butternut squash or if it's gonna be like an actual, like the honey nut, the smaller version. I've got one in there, and I've got all these weeds coming up between the rocks, which are, I don't know what this is, but it's some sort of like vine that just like chokes out everything. Everything's been doing pretty well. You can see all the bird seed on top of the squashes, but the birds have just been, they eat this upside down. They've just been going to town, and it's totally fine. I'd rather the birds eat it than some mice or some Lord knows what kind of rodent. But there's that, and let's go over to the side, see what's going on over there. Oh my gosh, I have never grown a pumpkin in my life, and I feel like I just struck.
Pumpkin? Is it that pumpkin?
Yeah, there's that pumpkin. Look at that gorgeous, oh my gosh. There's one over there. There's, I think those are pie pumpkins.
Look at them.
I know, look at that giant one.
Look at this giant.
They are just everywhere. Oh my gosh.
Look at this one.
There's one hiding right there. There were two right here. Oh my gosh, look, they're huge.
There's one right here.
Yeah, one right here, look. Wow. Are you sitting on it? Is that your new chair?
Yeah.
Okay, just be careful you don't fall off.
Ow.
Oh my gosh, I know, is it prickly? Here, come here.
It's pinky.
But oh my gosh, look at this. This is definitely gonna be a squash bed for sure next year. Oh my gosh.
What's the problem, Mama?
What's the problem?
Well, is there a
Look,
problem?
I found another one.
What's the...
What's that? That's another pumpkin.
And Mama, is there a problem over here?
What's the problem?
Well, what's the problem?
There is no problem. This is a wonderful problem to have. What I did 2 weeks ago is I was actually worried about them producing more female flowers. And with it being September, the night, it got down to 6 the other night. And that's pretty close to freezing. And as soon as this gets touched with frost, it's out. And I didn't want it destroying any of the fruit over here. So what I did was I came down to the end of each vine as best as I could find them. And I did exactly that. So I clipped that guy. These have all been clipped. And what happened was that it just shriveled up where I cut it. So I cut it here, and then it just dried back to the main stem. I've seen people cut back their tomato plants in order to let everything ripen that's on the plant. And I figured, well, why not do that with the squash and pretty much anything that I'm growing? So that's exactly what I did. And look, it's working out perfect. I cut it here, it dried up all the way. That's the main stem right here. And that's it. And I bet you that would just fall off if I pulled it. Oh, here's one that I missed. See, there's one female flower over here. I don't know if it's going to, that fruit is going to mature, but I've just clipped off that part. So basically that will dry up back to the main stem, just like like the other ones have. And that's it. And I'm going to clip that one off because I forgot. There's another female right there. I don't know if that's pollinated or not. Who knows? But oh my gosh, I am more than thrilled with the progress this year. I honestly, and there's a Zebrano dog. Hey, mister. Who's a good boy? Who's a good Zebrano eating grass like a cow? Whatever. But oh my gosh. In the middle of the suburbs, look at how much I've just grown. This is insane. Now we're just at the very, very top, and it's funny because I've planted these at the very, just like the rest, at the very beginning of the summer, and only now am I getting these cucumbers. This is insane. Nothing makes sense. Oh my gosh. What a learning curve. Holy mackerel. All right, and I've got a couple of other ones that are starting. There's one right there, if you can see it. And I did have a whole bunch of beans. Oh, I've got one more to harvest. These are delicious. Either raw or cooked. I like them raw. Some people say I'm crazy and my stomach's gonna hurt and who knows, but I eat them raw, the kids eat them raw. No one's ever been sick. Oh, look at this. I have no idea what this is. I wanna say that this is a spaghetti squash, but they're so tiny that I don't know if they'll get to anything. And I've clipped off the ends, hoping that these will get bigger. But honestly, at this point in the season, I don't know. I feel like I don't know anything about gardening at this point. So it is what it is. I got this one that decided to finally do something. I have no idea what it is. There's no female flowers on it that I can see. It just keeps going on. Yeah, these are all male. I don't know. I don't see anything. Nothing back there. This was supposed to be a watermelon. Didn't do anything. That is a lemon mint, I think, or pineapple mint. I can't remember. And then I've got this sunflower that decided to flop over. We had a bit of a windstorm. It flopped over. I was gonna pull it, and then I'm like, let's see what happens. And so now it's starting to grow this way. How cool is that? It just recovered perfectly. And then these guys are supposed to be American giants, and they're pretty giant. They're huge. It also doesn't help that they're already like 4 feet off the ground, and plus the height of them. But this is so cool. And I want to show you, these ones are already spent, but these ones were just so gorgeous. Oh, well, that didn't help anything. But I still got lots of seeds for next year, and I'm going to do the same thing. I don't know if that song, Welcome to the Jungle, was talking about someone's garden, but I feel like it would. These are my tomatoes. It is so thick in here that I can't even get in. I can't. I've strung them up and they've just completely ballooned out that I can't even access them. What I'm thinking of doing is, like I did with the squash, just chopping all the tops off. I don't want to bring all these green tomatoes into the house and then wait for them to ripen, because I find they never taste as good as when they actually ripen on the vine. Or it might be just like a mental thing and there's nothing wrong with them and they're perfectly fine. And that is where I still have that fennel. I want to actually cut it and preserve it. And I've got all these marigolds. So if anyone's wanting to plant giant marigolds, that is one plant. That entire thing is one plant. How crazy is that? I never thought they would get that big or and that wide. They are just loving life out here. The bees love them. These are my sad peppers, which is fine. I haven't had very many peppers. Like, this is literally the only sweet pepper I've gotten. My kids don't like green peppers. I don't blame them. I don't like them either, unless they're shishito or jalapeno. Those are pretty much the only two green peppers that I like. So I'm waiting for them to turn into color. They're either going to be orange, yellow, or purple. So that guy's going purple. And I've got some other peppers over there on the other side, and peppers love sun. So now I know I can't plant these whatsoever up here. I've got to plant them like up in that box, where basically nothing is around them really, in order for them to basically be able to really spread out and do their thing. I have been collecting shishitos. These are delicious. And it's funny because I also belong to a CSA, and whenever I can, I've been buying bulk peppers from her too. These I bought from West Coast Seeds, and they have shishito peppers from West Coast Seeds and Johnny's Select Seeds. And the shishito peppers from Johnny's are gigantic, and the ones from West Coast Seeds are these size. It's so weird. And the ones from Johnny's, it's good because you get a lot more yield, like as far as your peppers go. Sorry, not yield, but you get a lot more, like your fruit is bigger, but it takes a lot longer to cook. Whereas these guys, it's just, you throw them in, you get them. So it depends on what you prefer. Now, these are my artichokes, which I don't know, haven't done anything all year. I don't know what this black stuff is. I'm hoping it's not earwig eggs. But I have another one over here. These, I have 4 of them and they haven't done anything all year. And then I have another one over here. I've got this mint. I've got my chrysanthemum. Basically, I have chamomile over here. This is my flat leaf parsley that has just gone nuts, which is fine. And this is my crazy garden. I'm gonna take you home, have you for lunch, and there we go. This guy I'm super proud of. Under here is biggest celery that I have ever grown in my life. It's a Utah tall, I think, and it's just been amazing. I think I saw another one, but I can't remember. But yeah, you can see like these peppers are really stunted. Now they're crammed in between the marigolds and my fennel, which is going for a second time, which I didn't actually plan this. So I think I'm gonna do a video specifically on what I did. I don't think, I wanna leave these because it gets to -27, which is super cold, but I'm wondering if they'll come back or if they're gonna wanna bolt. I don't know. We'll see. I didn't think they'd come back after me chopping off the bottom and getting a whole clove, and they've gone like buck wild. So yeah, that's really cool. The other interesting thing about this is I'm not sure if they're doing this well and haven't had caterpillars lay on these because the marigolds are kind of on either side and the scent is throwing them off. Because earlier in the season, these were covered, like the first cut I did of the fennel, these were covered in caterpillars. But then these got bigger, the marigolds, and now all of a sudden, like, these should be infested with something, and they're not. So I don't know if it's because of the marigolds or it's just because of the season. Like, I have no idea. Things are growing really well. It took a long time, but I'm thrilled with this.